All right, we're going to record. Welcome, everybody, on this holiday week. This is Market Week Live for November 29th, 2024. Information and support for traders and investors. Welcome to everybody, those of you that are level 1 through 4. And here in the room, you can put your questions into the Q&A right now. We'll be getting to that a little bit quicker today because this will be a shorter show. Still, we're going to give a pretty deep look at some of the analysis, especially as we look at the stock market and the super strong stock market here that we have in this holiday week. This is the legal that you need to know. So read this. It talks about the fact that we bring you everything for education and entertainment purposes only. And you should always be looking at your own trading plan and discussing with your financial professionals. Today, Katie is not with us, so you have me, Matt, and Arvi. We're going to bring you everything that we have in our analysis, and we literally do analysis on hundreds of stocks, plus 24 or 25 different futures, ETFs, indexes, which we do analysis with multiple time frame analysis. Basically, look at monthly, weekly, daily, intraday. And a lot of our algorithms are built on that multiple time frame analysis, as we will share with you some of that moving forward. So you have 3 of the 4 analysts here today on this holiday week. Any questions that you might have on membership issues, website issues, questions on memberships, you could send that out to team@askSlim.com. Anything on our content, the information we provide, first-time specials, upgrades, those things, and the specials that we're going to be showing for Black Friday and for the special Give the Gift for the holidays that you can write to Matt@askSlim.com. All right, coming up in this show, we're going to jump into our express round very quickly. I'm not going to have much in the way of comments. I'll bring that a little bit later on during the stock market analysis. So you can ask questions again on our services, trade planning, chart analysis, trading issues. The floor is yours. Then you see that each analyst brings their own trade idea. That's what we're skipping today. So we won't be doing that one today, but we'll be bringing that one back next time. And then Matt is going to bring you a review of our services. You're going to see our Black Friday specials, which are fantastic. I think there's some in there that some of you don't probably even know about, especially the workshop, The 5 Essential Building Blocks to Successful Trading. That is a fantastic workshop, and it's got a huge discount on it. So that's something you probably would not consider, but now is the time to really do that. And then we're going to bring you Give the Gift of askSlim, which is our absolutely best promotion we do anytime. It's always at this time of the holiday season. And this is a great way for people who have not been a member to be able to do it very economically, and for people that are members to actually upgrade and take a look at higher levels. So a great opportunity there. And then I'm going to bring you my short commentary on the markets, and we'll look at some of the evidence, probabilistic projections in price and time for the major indexes. So I think that you're going to think that is very interesting because there are some changes in there as the market is giving us different information, and that's what we always do, is respond to what we see in the market. If you're brand new and you're just getting acquainted, you can sign up for SIR Lite. Go up to the free stuff at the top of the website, and you can get the information on the stock market every single day for free. That's if you're brand new and you're not interested yet in taking any of these specials that we're going to be showing you. That's a good way to look at what we do. On YouTube, subscribe to the channel, click the notification bell, and that's @askSlim. Team is the name of the channel. And do like this video, give it a thumbs up. And on X, follow me @askSlim. Any questions, again, write to Matt@askSlim.com. All right, so we're going to get into the Q&A here, and then we're going to get into the stock market analysis and our specials and some great stuff coming forward. RV, Matt, could you tell me what is on the list for me as regarding any of the futures that is requested?
The natural gas,
Uh-huh,
silver,
uh-huh.
VIX.
Bitcoin.
VIX,
Yep.
Yep.
Bitcoin.
Yep.
Okay,
Gold.
gold,
Yep.
Yep.
silver,
That's
gold.
it. That's about it.
Okay, those are the
Mhm.
ones I'm going to do. That's great. Okay, so let's get into the first one we're going to look at is the natural gas chart /NG. And of course, we're looking at the analysis of the weekly and the daily. So I'm going to go into the weekly analysis here, and I'm going to go into the daily analysis right here. And we'll look at this. So let me blow up the weekly. And you can see in here, the harmonics are just beautiful when we look at that. After this big decline here, we'll just look at these two harmonic families in there, and you could see the half cycle right in here and right in here, and the big dominant cycle right there. So where are we right now? What this looks like is that we are well into this rising phase of this second half. You can see that here. Now, natural gas is getting a boost because there's a talk that Russia is not going to sell as much natural gas to Europe. Also, that there's very cold weather across the country. I'm in Georgia right now visiting family, and it's like low 40s. And this is very cold weather for them right now. So, wish I brought heavier sweatshirt. Here is the declining phase, as you see, where the minor, real minor, the intermediate, and the dominant were all coming down in this cycle. And you can see that's yet to come out over here. So what happens generally is when there's a news related upside move in natural gas or other commodities, once those end, then the likelihood of a correction will come. And this is the time frame right over here. So you can see how it's shaped up right in here, and you could see what we're looking at right here. So what are we looking for now? Well, it would look like that you could get a rally up into here, which would be at this cycle peak resistance coming across. So that's from this peak right over here, or these fib extensions could take it even higher out into this area right here. This is about $4 when you look at it there. And then after this correction, after this continuation of the rally, whenever that ends, it probably will come down and get into this corrective phase. When I look at it on the daily chart, you can see again the nice harmonics that are in there. Let me just make sure I have the drawing set on the daily. As it gets up here, just test this resistance and then backs off. Cycle peak resistance here, and that actually rolled. So there's a little difference. There's where it is right there. And that's a good area where you would expect that it to peak right in that area. So this, you can see got up a little bit above that, and now you have this double star, evening star. Whoops, didn't mean to do that. Let's go back. This double star, evening star right over here, that kind of indicates the top in there. But look at the minor cycle right here. This probably is going to have another test up into this area before it does come down. So you can see looking at the weekly here, let me just get a little closer look here, looking at this daily in here, you can see that based on everything we see, the sum of the evidence says that momentum strong here, momentum strong here, the daily cycle, minor cycle likely to bottom in here if it hasn't already, then move up again one more time up here, test these levels, and then get into the corrective period. So that's the look at natural gas. Let's take a look at silver and gold. We'll look at gold first. These cycles are a little bit off time in silver and gold. They don't quite match perfectly. You can see on here that this is the silver cycle right there. This is the gold cycle right there. And that shows you how that they actually are a little bit off time-wise, but not that far. So the likelihood of this rally that's going on here existing in this rising phase for both gold and silver is high. So this correction came right on time. We looked for it. This advanced right on time in here. But now you see it stalling. And this area right over here between that 78.6 and that cycle peak could be a pretty good resistance. That's a major 78.6% fib extension right there at just around 2,800. So we could get back up to 2,800 in here and then roll over. That would not be unusual. The daily chart would tell us if that's not happening. And also look at the momentum here. So the momentum turned down. This cycle here, you would have to get the momentum to turn back up to really be able to get to show us that there's energy enough to get beyond that 2,800 level right over there. On the daily chart right here, you can see that's the corrective period. Look at these corrective periods where those yellow ovals are, how they come pretty much right on time in there. Here's where it came right on time, came down to the supports, began to move up. And here you could see it's struggling right there as you got that reversal and making just a little bit of a flag here. So looking at that on the weekly and daily, you have to then say to yourself, well, this really does look like it's having a hard time in here. And momentum in here is negative. Momentum here you could see on the slim ribbon PO negative and giving a momentum downside resumption signal. This is not exciting to me, even though I want to be a bull and I own a lot of gold. This to me is not really exciting. So that means that there's probably a better buying opportunity coming out here. We'll have to see these momentum conditions get restored before we feel like there's anything really positive going on in here in the gold market. Let's take a look at silver. And silver looks pretty similar, as you can see. It pulled back here, momentum negative. Here you can see those cycles as they are, slightly off a rhythm right over there in gold and silver. This is your gold cycle here. Here's your silver cycle. Bottom's really right in time. But you could see there's not a lot of upside traction in here. And here's your resistances right there. That's 31.83. This is 32.45. And this is 33.04. So that's kind of the resistance zone in here and not really showing the ability to get anything really going on the upside. Here again, you can see the overlay of silver and gold, and they're quite out of phase when you look at this as far as these patterns go. The minor cycle in gold seems to be really influencing in here, but the dominant cycle in silver and gold are out of phase. You can see it's pretty perfect here on silver, though out of phase with gold. And this, we thought there was a test coming because this was early right over there, and you could see it did come, and now it's trying to move up. But again, momentum negative here, bearish resumption signal there on momentum on the slim ribbon PO. Remember, the slim ribbon PO is a level 4 indicator, and of course, if you give the gift to yourself or to somebody else, then for level 4, they'll be able to put this up on TOS. So this is a condition right now that, again, I'm not excited about. I want to be bullish, but I'm not. This actually moved a little because of the roll and broke down from that flag and is not really able to get much move on the upside. That's a look at gold and silver. And again, I'm not excited about what I'm seeing there right now. They're going to have to repair themselves for me to get a real good sense that there is potential for upside. And if they start to break down under those last lows, it's going to look pretty negative. Here is VIX right over here. Let me get the weekly up here and the daily here. And we'll blow this up. Now, we had looked at this low right over here as making the low and then a pretty good size decline in the stock market for a correction into October, November. On the Trump win, the momentum really shifted to very positive in the stock market. And then for that reason, as this began to get below that level, then there's no more big upside projection in volatility. It really does look like if it comes back up, it'll come back up into these areas here, maybe in the low 20s, but no more upside projection in the 30s, 40s, 50s, as we believed would happen. Of course, when I get into the stock market analysis in just a little bit, you'll be able to see that the patterns are really quite strong, and the likelihood of the bigger correction that we saw just is not there. It's much more modest corrections and strong configurations in the stock market. Here you could see there are two out of phase cycles. They both hit lows beautifully, as you see here and here and here. And now we don't really know which one of these is dominant. Really looking at both of them, but you can see as implied volatilities keep sliding down over here, there could be a low over here, and then we get into that stock market correction where you'll get a pop in this area, or you get a low over here and you get into the stock market correction and get a pop in that area. Don't really know which those is, though. When I look at the configuration of the cycles and the timing on the indexes, which I'll show you shortly, it's much more likely that it's going to come earlier over here than it's going to come over here, because there's a correction that's really due into early December that we've talked about, that the indexes are showing coming down into like December 5th to 10th. And that would be this upside move coming over here in implied volatilities. But again, there's nothing in here that says it's going to be anything major as far as an upside move in implied volatilities. You asked for Bitcoin. I actually want to show you Bitcoin and Ethereum, because the Ethereum has really taken on a stronger look. Now, we turned positive on crypto and Bitcoin out over here where it broke out. It was very clear that there was a shift in the cycle right over here. And as it moved up through these resistance levels, we thought it would be going up higher. The upside projection is really between 100,000, 109,000, or 110,000 right there, which is where we projected it for the last few weeks. It's likely going to get into a corrective period over here. And this is important because I'll show you on the Ethereum that it's the same timing out over here, where this takes you out into mid to late January for a correction. So somewhere here it tops and then has a pullback. Right now, the downside projections would be 88,000 down to about 80,000 here in Bitcoin. When I look at the daily chart, you can see in here is it's pointing up to those upside fib extensions right up there. It had this top looking pattern right here where it made that evening star, and now it's coming back up here. Now, again, we're going to look at momentum. Weekly momentum turned sharply higher. That is a lot of upside pressure. Here you have the daily momentum right over here pushing up on the slim ribbon. Remember, the slim ribbon is a free indicator. Write to team at askSlim.com to find out how to get that on your charts for free and where it's available. And look at the slim ribbon PO where it was giving you positive signal, upside resumption here, showing you the strength that's in there. Now, let's see this cycle right over here. That kind of says that it's going to pull back. That top of that support there is back in that 88,000 level that we talked about. And then you get this next cycle moving up right over here. So this cycle points to it ending on January 5th. So somewhere between January 5th, which is kind of lines up with this first line right over here, that cycle line. Actually, these no longer exist because we're looking at that other cycle. So right between these two lines, this right over here is early February. So it's early January to early February. This one points out here to January 5th. So pullback, rally, and then probably a bigger correction out there in Bitcoin. I want to show you Ethereum because it actually took on more strength. It's gaining some relative strength in here, and you could see this big upward spike in here. This is your Bitcoin chart right over here. This is an old one right over there that it used to align with, and you could see that low right there and that low right over there. So we're leaving it because it still shows it has some influence on the chart. And this is really the one we're looking at that aligns closer to Bitcoin right here. And that says that this big spike over here probably finds resistance somewhere up near 4,000 is what it looks like, and then gets into the same corrective period. But then after that, it really does look like, based on this configuration in here, that you're going to get something like that going on in Ethereum. So that, of course, would give you an indication there's something like that going to go on in Bitcoin. That's probably the move to 110,000 in Bitcoin and the move up to 4,200 in Ethereum out over here. So this becomes a buy area right there, which is again in this January period that we're looking at right there. So pullback into January might be the best buying opportunity we're going to see. Here you could see also this good upward spike, this resistance up here, 4180 is where that shows up, and very positive momentum here, positive upside resumption there. So Ethereum, Bitcoin, both looking very good. In the past, you've heard me be immensely negative on this group. My attitude on it has not changed, but our analysis certainly has. And that's as long as the analysis says bullish, I'm going to say bullish. Once it says bearish, well, I'll probably be all over that. But right now, I don't see that coming for many months. So Ethereum and Bitcoin both looking very good. And I have shown everything that I'm going to show. And I'm going to then turn this over to RV.
All right, Slim, thank you so much. Great job there. Let's go ahead and hop over to a few of the underlyings that we're going to focus on. The first one we're going to look at is EWZ, which is the iShares MSCI Brazil ETF. Let me go ahead and share my screen. And what we see here is the iShares MSCI Brazil ETF. Let me see if I can move that zoom thing there. Okay, let's hop over to the intermediate term. So there is a low that is due here. You can see we are selling off very, very hard now into this low. So the highest odds would be that we would see a low form, and then we would see this curl its way back to the upside. You will note that there is now a lower cycle low clearly versus the old low. So the highest odds are in this next rising mode, you would see a lower high form versus that old high there at right on 3280 or so. If we hop over to the daily time frame, you'll see that there is a low due shortly here. So we will be watching for this to form a low, form a move like that, and then get a curl back to the upside. Okay, obviously we are seeing a large move down here. In the EWZ, there's a zone from 2531 to 2440. We'll be watching for that to hold, and then again for this to curl its way back up. But keep in mind, we are still seeing a series of lower highs and lower lows here. So obviously in a firm downtrend on the short term. If we hop over now to Microsoft, this is an interesting one, of course, in that we are just trading sideways. We have a low that is due here as well. No obvious low yet. I'm going to be watching for this to move out of this line right here, which is right around 432. If that were to happen, it would set up a move towards 450-ish here in Microsoft on the intermediate term. And on the short term, we have a trough that is due over the next, let's just say, week or so here in MSFT. We're holding this zone right now from 417.5 to 414.70 or so. We'll be watching for this to move through this old cycle high at 429.33. If that were to happen, it would set up a test of that old high there at 438.50 here in MSFT. Hop over now to PAAS, and then I'm going to hand this back over to you, Slim. This is not a great pattern yet in PAAS. There is a trough that is due, but again, no obvious low that has formed. So I'm going to be looking for one more move down to clear this low here at, you can see right there, clear that low right there, and then give a pop back to the upside off of that. There just really is no obvious low here yet. This is really feeling quite weak. You can see right here on the short term, there is a rally. Then I'm actually looking for this to lose this low here and form a trough somewhere over the next 2 weeks or so and then get that lift. But I want to see this actually clear it down hard and then get a move. You can see even back here, a hard move down, form the low, a hard move down, form the low. That's really what I want to see here, a hard move down, form that low, and then set up that move back to the upside. So that's our look there at PAAS, and I'm going to hand this back over to you, Slim.
Okay. You can stop sharing.
Will do.
Okay, so that's it. Now we're going to turn this over to Matt. He's going to bring you a review of our services and these Black Friday specials and our great Give the Gift of askSlim special. Matt, you can take it.
All right. Excellent work, guys. Great analysis. So I get the fun opportunity to share with everyone our special offers that we have that are releasing today. However, for those of you that don't know about askSlim, we provide several premium membership services to members, and we provide within that technical analysis. We have innovative trade planning tools and comprehensive educational resources for various trading styles, including a separate service for day traders. So you can see our memberships in completion over here in our section on the website here. I clicked on the memberships, but what we wanted to announce today that you heard about from Slim is that we have our Black Friday deals and holiday specials. These are absolutely the best specials that we have throughout the year. So if you have had an interest in askSlim, now is the time to take full advantage of it. And what you have in terms of Black Friday specials are level 1, 50% off. So that would be $10. Level 1 is going to give you a fantastic introduction to our methodology. You get an immersive review on a daily basis of the S&P 500, the NASDAQ 100, and the Russell 2000. Then we also have a comprehensive look at Spider ETF select groups. So level 1 is going to give you that on a daily basis in terms of daily snapshot and then a weekly ETF review, and you'll get a great sense of our overall methodology that combines cycle analysis, momentum, and Fibonacci swing high, swing low analysis. As Slim indicated, for the first time, I think really ever, this is the deepest discount that we've ever offered for his 5 essential building blocks workshop. That's a fantastic trader psychology workshop. Also, it's an excellent workshop to really walk you through a process. So that one I would recommend you take a look at. It won't be that at this pricing maybe ever, or if it is, it will be next year around this time. Also, the cycle analysis workshop, there's a $400 discount. That will also include a complimentary ticket to Slim's Behind the Cycle Analysis Curtain. This is a live workshop that Slim does. We do this about once every other month, and we spend about 3 hours. Slim goes through all of the futures markets and indexes, VIX, and you'll actually get to hear him do his analysis live in front of you and hear his thinking process. So it's extremely rare, and that's what we call behind the curtains, because he's not sharing an end product. You actually get to see him go through his process live. So you will have a complimentary ticket, because those prices range anywhere from $495 to $79 if you've already attended one of those. So take advantage of that if you have an interest in a much deeper look at cycle analysis. And then we have our day trader service right now, first month, 33% off for $29.95. That comes in is available on a daily basis. You have access to our day trader service, which is designed for intraday swing trading. We have several videos, training videos around that, and we have more to come. We're always looking at ways to enhance and refine the services that we do, and we'll likely have something released in early to mid-January for our day trader service. So you get to take advantage of that now with a 33% discount. So those are Black Friday deals. Those will run through Monday. And then the Give the Gift holiday special, those are here now. Those are special rates. You get a 3-month membership. It's non-recurring. You can give that gift to someone who you know that loves trading, or you can give it to yourself. Obviously, we're all about technical analysis. If someone has an interest in technical analysis and wants to learn from some professionals, this is a great opportunity to do that. You're going to get a very comprehensive look at the body of work that we do all around technical analysis, chart analysis, momentum analysis, cycle analysis, at multiple time frames. You can give this gift to yourself. So if you are new to askSlim, you can order that for yourself. You can also use this, give it to yourself for an upgrade. So if you're at level 1, want to go to level 2, or level 1 to level 4, you can use this and give yourself an opportunity for a special discount. In addition to that, with the Give the Gift offers, you receive an Amazon gift card. So for example, with level 2, you get 35% off. It's for 3 months. It's non-recurring. And you would also receive a $20 Amazon gift card, which will be distributed about 10 to 14 days after purchase. We have it also on level 3, 35% off. And you get a $50 Amazon gift card. Again, the Amazon gift cards are for first-time members or if you're upgrading. And then level 4, where you have our access to our custom toss charts, our trade planning grids, our proprietary studies, the market condition monitor, and its desktop notification app. All of that comes with the level 4 membership. This is a 3-month membership, non-recurring, 35% off, plus a $100 Amazon gift card. So again, truly, these are the best specials of the year, and they're available now. Take full advantage of them. If you have questions, let me know. I will be hosting a live event early next week. More information will be going out, and I'll be stepping through all of the services, giving tours, answering questions, and talking about how you can maximize your trade planning with each membership level, depending on your trading style, whether you're a near-term trader, short-term trader, swing trader that looks at the next 3 to 8 weeks, or even a position trader who might be looking out the next 3 months. And I'll be tailoring those styles to the various services content that we have at askSlim. So if you're brand new or if you're a veteran, those are always, I think, important to attend, to get your questions answered and to learn something new that you might not have before. All right, that's everything that we have for our specials. Very excited about these and looking forward to new members and upgrades and having conversations with our members around all this.
All right, that's great. Very exciting.
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to take the sharing back.
Yes.
All right, we're going to get into the stock market analysis right now. And I am going to do just a tiny little bit of update. First thing I want you to do is look at this slide. This tells you about our approach to the market and the importance of you taking trade ownership of your own trade. So important slide for you to read before we move on. Well, I just want to remind you that the Black Friday deals are today. You can read through this. This will only be running through December 2nd, so take advantage of these. If you're watching the clip right now and not the whole show, then you can go back and Matt talked about these in detail. All right, stock market analysis, multiple time frame analysis and projections. We'll look at SPX, NDX, RUT, weekly and daily, and the intraday also. And we're looking at, of course, some of the evidence projections in both price and time. We put it all together, and this is very probabilistic analysis. We try to be correct more than 65, 70% of the time. Of course, that's going to make us wrong about 30, 35% of the time, and that's just the nature of technical analysis or any kind of analysis that you do. And we're very proud of overall everything that we look at and the really great analysis that we offer in so many futures and indexes, ETFs, and hundreds of equities that we look at. So if you're just for the first time looking at this analysis, please do consider that you can become a member and see the huge breadth of analysis that we bring all of the time. So the stock market, really quickly this week, it's chopped pretty much in an upside bias. It was a holiday Thanksgiving week, and generally they're very slow, and probabilistically they have upward biases to them. And the market was cheering early on Trump's choice of Bessent as Treasury Secretary, believing that he will offer a buffer to what could be some extreme policies. So the market liked that. The bond market really liked it and moved up on that news, which we were expecting to get an upside move. And the market gave some ground on the announcement of the tariffs, which are going to be on Canada and Mexico 25% and an extra 10% on China, up to about 35%. And of course, there's all kinds of talk that Mexico is already talking, and there may be some changes there, but then Mexico denies it. So we're not going to really know, and we're not going to know a lot about Donald Trump's policies until well into next year or towards the end of next year of how that's all going to shape up. But I always have confidence that the stock market is going to get ahead of what is really going to happen out there. And of course, I think that 2025 are going to have some is going to have some pretty significant movements in the market, and you'll be able to see that at the end of the year when I do my year-end show, looking at the major markets. So that will be available for members level 1 to 4, probably the very end of December. Friday here, the market moved up pretty strongly again on this shortened holiday day. That a lot of buying came in the chip stocks as President Biden came out tougher on sales of semiconductor equipment to China. That would mean that they would not be able to keep up with the development here in the U.S. So the semiconductor stocks moved up. That moved the markets up with the leadership coming in that technology area. And overall, we're in this week of very positive seasonality. And that tends to win out over anything else most of the time in most years. Then comes after Thanksgiving, things tend to change. The bond market did have a good week, and we were looking for that upside rebound. And the metals market tried to rally last week, but then just got softer in this week again. Energy still weak as we're looking for crude oil to have another dip to the downside before making a very important low. And as I showed earlier in the show, cryptocurrencies were quite strong, with Ethereum really taking an upside leadership over what we're seeing in the Bitcoin market, though both of them strong. Bitcoin getting up over 100,000 on the futures, and Ethereum having a pretty good upside move. So if you're a fan of the cryptocurrencies and you're only watching this clip, go back and watch the whole show, and you'll be able to see my analysis there on those cryptocurrencies. Let's get into the stock market analysis right now. And we're going to take a look at the charts that I share with our members. And this is the level 4 chart grid. So I'm going to show you what they get. They essentially get all of the analysis that looks like this when they get it, and then you can just blow it up and get all of the multiple time frame analysis. So here we are, having a very good upside day again. The S&Ps today here on Friday up 43 points. Now, for our level 4 members and for our other members, I sent out upgrades on a bunch of charts this morning. I didn't yet send out the upgrade on the S&P chart on the indexes because we were trading up at the high. So I didn't think it was right to update it. Then later on, I thought about it. So there's an update that of these charts that you're seeing if you're a level 4 member, and our team will put those static charts up for our other members in the next day or so. So you'll be able to see. Now, of course, there is a change in here. What's the change? Well, you can see the cyclic action in here is quite clear. And what we were looking at was that this period right in here was the period of risk, September through November. Well, what happened over here is that you got into late September, the Russell, which was right here, had its correction. The Russell chart made the correction right in here. S&Ps fell about 6% there. The area that we were looking for the bigger decline was 3%. So, either one of these corrections are really quite different than what my original expectation was for something much deeper here in September, November. I thought it would be 6 to 9%, 6 to 10%. This one, 6%. This one was really where I thought the decline would come, but did not. So when the market tells us based on the shape of patterns that what we had expected is not coming or that something's different, then we have to change the analysis. I mean, the market speaks very clearly, and that's what I've done here. And then you can see that we were looking for the potential for a decline into the December correction we're looking for to be deeper. But now I don't even show that on the weekly chart anymore. I only show it on the daily because it is creating bullish configurations, bullish translations. You can learn about that in the cycle workshop. And then that does tell us that the market is likely to remain in this positive upward movement. So here you could see where that correction came on the in the Russell. You had the S&P 500 lose the upward momentum, but then it reestablished it here, and upward momentum is still very, very clear. Last week, we showed all the momentums on a 2-hour chart, which is a phenomenal look at it. We talked about the fact that it's bullish. I mean, it's just not telling us anything negative, and here's the market having another good upside week. It's just a little choppy, but still trying to make upside gains. Not a huge upside week, but it is very obvious the buyers are still there. So that's the weekly chart on the S&P 500. Here is the daily chart on the S&P 500 right here. And you can see in here in this cloud that we build that it got down here into support right there and then moved up again. Now, it built this island right over here. And sometimes when you get patterns that look like they have failed, like this one does, that first area that it fails from is a warning, and that it's telling you somewhere around there's some resistance. And if this wasn't the holiday week, I would think that this would be starting to give ground. So right over here, we're looking for this correction right over here on the daily chart. This takes you out here into somewhere around December 5th to December 10th right there. And I'll show you some other charts align with that very nicely. Take a look at the rhythmic cyclic action that you see in here. Let's just look at from this cycle right here. And you can see that rhythmic cyclic action does show you very clearly why the bottom came right in here. And then it began to move up again. And now we're just looking for this corrective period right in here. But the option bias indicator through this whole period, way back over here, looking out into last August, middle of August, where it turned positive, it went positive, neutral, positive, neutral, positive. It never got negative in here and has been saying to bias your option positions on the long side in the S&P 500. So pullback in here likely to come. Not sure where the top is going to be. This might go higher, but this is right around 59.10 down to about 58.20 is where we would look for a pullback in here in the SPX. Take a look at the momentum here on the daily. This is the slim ribbon PO on the bottom, and that slim ribbon PO showed you that upside resumption right over here. It was just perfect, just like it did here and here. This one actually gave you a rally, but it didn't make it to a higher high. So that's really important information. Momentum clearly strong here on the slim ribbon, as you can see, and the slim ribbon, and on the daily, the reversal scout on the weekly, still in very positive configuration, very positive momentum. So take a look here. This is another variation of the 2-hour chart, similar to what I showed last week, but I want you to see how the daily cycle phasing is put in here over this 2-hour chart. Here is a positively configured daily cycle with the 2-hour built in here. And here you could see the slim ribbon PO on the 2-hour, which here gave you as positive and upside call right there. And again, the rising phase, corrective phase, rising, corrective, rising, corrective, rising, and the corrective coming right over here. And you can see the shape of this positive configuration, positive, positive, positive. This says to us that somewhere over here into this December 5th to 10th period, is likely to be a correction that holds above these levels. It would be a positive configuration, and it would make the next cycle out over here, rising phase, likely to get you to a higher high again. So this is the way that we look at the multiple time frame analysis, put together the sum of the evidence, and then get the highest probability. So the highest probabilities are that the upside continues with a minor interruption right in here, like you saw here and here and here in each of those cycles. So corrective phase coming in here, and then another rally, very likely to take out that high, which right now is at the high. 60.44 was made here on Friday, November 29th, so far early in the day as we look at that. So you can see those very, very strong phasing. Go back and look at all of this, put it together for you. And this is the weekly cycle configured positively, where this is the dominant cycle and barely could correct in here, momentum upwards and strong. In this case, the option bias indicator telling you to opt to keep your option positions biased to the long side, and a very positive configuration showing here, which I just showed you on the 2-hour chart. Also, momentum strong, and this is how that short term, this is how the daily cycle shapes up looking at it on a 2-hour chart. So if I only look at this section right over here, you could see the slim ribbon positive in here. When it gets into the corrective phase, it turns red on the PO right over here. Slim ribbon PO gives you the correction, turns neutral and positive again. And that's where we are right here in this positive rising phase, with the likelihood of this getting into a corrective period out over here that should go out December 5th to 10th. So that's a look at the SPX. I think it is very, very clear when you look at that about how positive it is. Again, in the NASDAQ, we remove the two scenarios because it's pretty clear. This is where that Russell low was right over here, and I'll show you that trough. This is where the S&P low was right over here. And now we're in this rising phase. It will take the daily patterns to turn negative for us to say that there's a top that's forming in the stock market. And you can see, based on what I'm showing you, that is not happening yet. There's this daily trough through early December. We thought that it would correct down into here. It still might, but pretty likely to hold above that low right over there in the NASDAQ, and then set up another move to the upside. So this minor cycle right over here is reflective in this right over here. These upward projections right over here are 21,422. This is 21,863, and this is 2,200 and around 22,400 right over there. So it's possible for it to get up over here. And then again, if it doesn't and it begins to fail, just like in the S&P 500, we would begin to see a negatively configured cycle. But here in the NASDAQ, even though it is way underperforming the S&P 500, it is still showing positive configuration, positive information. So if I look right over here, you will see, and by the way, before I go away from there, you can see the bottom warning right over there in the slim ribbon PO and in the option bias indicator where it turned orange and then gave you that bottom. And then if you look at these cycles right over here, you could see these positive configurations, which we are in right now, and a positive option bias indicator. Here you could see momentum on the daily chart is positive, very clear. And again, look at the quality of those upside resumption signals on the slim ribbon PO on the bottom. If you want that, become a level 4 member using our Give the Gift special, and then you'll be able to have that on your charts. And again, here's that same NASDAQ look. Now, if you look at the present cycle that we're in the NASDAQ, that one looks a little different. You see, it's not getting up to the high right there. And it's in this, kind of long flag that you see forming in there. So if it gets out under this level right over here, let's just call that 2,600 roughly, 20,600, then you're likely to be in this corrective period that takes you out into early December. So it's the same kind of information that we have there, but it's possible the NASDAQ will lead into this minor corrective period. You can see here on the bottom, the market condition indicator, where this cycle went negative, but then it tested and became positive right there. Test positive, and right over here, we'll see what that next one looks like. But again, this has been mostly being able to stay quite positive, though lagging what we see in the S&P 500. Here is your Russell. Now, there's where that Russell low is right over here that I have overlaying on the charts, and you can on the S&P and the NASDAQ, and you can see that this rally phase in here is much longer than what we're seeing, because this is where the small cap and mid caps took over right over here on the upside in around mid-September, and then have been driving the market on the upside. So you could see how much stronger this is in the small caps than we're looking at in the NASDAQ, as money has flown out from those high caps, which are a huge portion of the S&P 500, moving out into other stocks. And this is just showing you that investors don't believe the top is here, but they're looking for ways to stay invested in the market and not be in those heavily weighted mega caps and techs. So they started to move many weeks ago into the small caps and mid caps, and that has continued. And RV in the Futures Peak show has done a great job on explaining that all along the way, as that strength has shown up in the markets. Here you can see in the Russell a very, very strong pattern in here. And again, the timing in here is likely to see a pullback. This is 2365. This level here is about 2330. That's where the supports are. That lower level is 2301. If it can pull back in here, it really is giving a buying opportunity based on everything we're seeing. And I just drew in what the next probabilities will be on this next cycle. Actually, this would be the highest probability would be testing whatever high it made in here, then going into some corrective phase that was a positively configured cycle, not taking out the low, and then moving up again. If this actually changed and then took out the low over here, then we would have signs of a top. So we get great information moving back and forth between the weekly and daily patterns. So again, look at the option bias indicator, keeping you on the long side. Very important to have that level 4 indicator on your charts. Here you could see momentum on the daily, super strong, slim ribbon PO strong. There's your upside signal right there. Says momentum to resume on the upside. Here is your 2-hour chart. And here I didn't do the overlays in here because the charts don't line up anymore on the daily cycles. It's really in its own life here on the Russell, because there's so much buying coming in, but you can see positive right in here and kind of stalling, but a slight weakening in the Russell. And that's why I mentioned we'll be watching to see if it can, in a correction, if it takes out the important low. That's the low where that would be right there, 2282. If it was able to get under there, that would be a bad sign and be one of the first signals of the market putting in a peak. So that is a look at the Russell, and that is a look at our grid right there. Let's take a look as we switch over to the market condition monitor. Now, this is included in our specials for level 3 and 4. So if you give the gift to yourself or to somebody else, they're going to be able to get this. I have this set on short term right now. So this is giving us the conditions in the market for the short term. And this, of course, says in the short term, these are all very bullish. The only one that is beginning to show a little bit of getting tired is on the short term is the IWM or the Russell. And that's because the shortest term right over here is starting to roll over on the reversal scout. So that dings this, gives it a little down arrow right there, saying it changed from very bullish to bullish. That's in alignment with what I just showed you. Here's the intermediate, and you can see all of them very bullish, no change in here. No reason to be short in the market when you look at these, certainly as they're showing all the strength. If you're a near-term swing trader, just hours to days, you'd be looking at that, and these you can see are very bullish. But again, you can see in here the Russell is beginning to weaken just a little bit in here, as it's only slightly bullish. So that's look at that. Let's go back to the short term right over here, and let's just look at the symbols in here for trade setup conditions. The very bullish ones, let's just look at the top 10 or so. You can see them right in there. Again, you can, for level 4 members, you can use the notifications in there, and you'll be notified in any of the time frames when something changes in there. So you can see the very bullish ones there. And let's take a look. Are there actually stocks that are really bearish or things that are really bearish in this environment? Well, Arby showed you the EWZ early on. I think it was EWZ. So you can see these are the ones that are very bearish. Oil, look at Micron in this time frame where we have a lot of strong things in the semiconductors. Broadcom also not looking great. Corn, Devon, AMD not looking great. You see, those are very bearish, and they're getting a boost today based on the news that the U.S. is going to get tougher on selling China semiconductor equipment things. So the pop that you're getting in the semiconductors really, when you look at this, it says, well, these stocks probably are sells. When you look at Micron and you look at Broadcom and you look over here at AMD, pops in those probably are sells. So I wanted to take a look at that so you have a very good idea at the things that we look at and what you can have by becoming an askSlim member. That's everything that I'm going to show you today in the stock market. Don't go away because these are the holiday specials. Matt talked about these earlier in the show. This is the just fantastic give the gift where you can give the gift to yourself or to somebody else. Huge discounts that we're giving in there. And check with your tax advisor because you're going to, if you pay $114.75, you may actually be able to deduct that. But then we're going to send you back $20 even then. So this is just a great way. Level 2 holiday special, just $114.75. That's only 38 and a quarter a month. And we're going to send you back $20. For level 3, you're going to be able to have that for $232, and we're going to send you back $50. And for level 4, you're going to spend $303.75 for 3 months. Again, that's only $101.25 before tax deductions, and we're going to send you back $100 in a Amazon gift card. So these are just absolutely amazing deals. You want to learn more about who we are, go to askSlim.com, look around at our broad amount of education and analysis content for that for both traders and investors. Arby and Matt, come on back.
Great job, Slim. That was, I
Great
mean,
work.
I just have to say that, these deals are absolutely incredible. This has been a great year overall for us. We've been really on point, and I don't see that changing in 2025. We work super hard for all you guys. You won't even believe how many hours we put into this, and we all care. And you can't say that about everybody. We care about you guys, so we want you all to do well, genuinely. So hopefully you are seeing that in everything that we do. We want you to do well over time, and that comes through learning over time. So that's why, you have to look at everything going out several months. Don't just look at it over 1 week. Look at it over several months. Take time to learn, take time to grow.
Very well said.
Yep.
Really well said. Matt, got anything left?
No, I think that was very well said. Great analysis. It's always fun to do these live shows. 2024 was a solid year. A lot of new product services, and we're going to continue to grow in that way, innovate, and always put our members first. We always love to hear feedback from our members because, as Slim and Arby say, your success is our success. So don't hesitate when you want to chat. Reach out to us on Discord. Follow us on email. Write us an email. Otherwise, happy holidays, and we look forward to seeing you again next week.